Well, it's that time, folks. It's that time, and when you don't think it could get any worse for our former baby girl, it has. You know why? Because the one and only Beck has once again dropped another Q&A with Mr. Snowflake, and it's only gonna get worse every single time. I don't even know what to say at this point. It's got so bad, this one, you're not gonna even expect what's coming, because you knew what happened in the last few times, and we was all shocked, but we really wasn't, because we expected it, but we didn't. But it didn't matter, right? Because Beck just dropped it all there, and everybody in the comment section for years was 100% right, but it didn't matter. But Beck clarified it. It was all the truth. But in this episode, what's going on here? We find out that our former baby girl was having massive arguments with Beck, causing massive drama, that Beck actually had to grab all their stuff. I mean, even their clothes. They even forgot the clothing. I mean, the clothes, no shoes, barefoot. Ran out the house, grabbed a bra, and just peaced out. They was like, I'm out of here. I got to get away from Amberlynn Reed. This is just too much drama. I got to get, and just drove hours, or like at least 1 hour, and got there to the sister's house to be safe, just to get away from Amberlynn Reed. Can you imagine that? That is how Amber is behind the scenes, folks. And we all had an idea, but we couldn't see it because she edited it all out on iMovie over there with one finger. Can you imagine having to escape your house over there, run out there with your toes wiggling in the wind, right? Jump in the car and try to get away because Amber will not leave you alone. That's the controlling type of person she must be, and that is out of control. But we're gonna listen right here from the one and only Beck and Mr. Snowflake so you could understand what's going on. Boom.
What was the worst argument you and Amber got into? I'm sure it's all just molded into one horrible heap, but does anything stand out?
I think the arguments that stand out the most for me are the ones where I got so overwhelmed that I had to leave the house and get away. One time, Amber, Eric, Ricky, and I were watching Adventure Time, and Eric changed the channel without asking. Amber, even though she did not like Adventure Time, and even though it was Eric's TV, had a huge blow up. I'd had enough, and I left without grabbing my wallet, my bra, or shoes. I drove an hour to my sister's and showed up at her doorstep barefoot and crying. I just wanted to escape.
Yes, folks, you heard it right there. It got worse, but it's gonna get even worser. And then maybe worse this later, but it doesn't matter, right? We're gonna move on to this one, and this is what the timers. Here we go again with the timers. Amber, I don't know what to tell you. You need to stop this, and you never gonna be dating nobody. No parking meter that you put change in and they gotta be back. That's gotta end. But you're gonna keep it up, right? And that's why you're gonna be single. You see how it's working for you? Ain't nobody around. But we gonna get more excitement here. You know why? Because Amber was once again doing the mess. And in this situation, she was even stopping Beck from hanging out with the friends that live inside the house. Can you imagine you live in the same house? I think they had like a 6-room house or something like that. And you not allowed to sit in the living room or wherever it is and watch a movie. And in this situation, Amber did not set like a physical timer. You know, like when you was in the gym class and you had to run around the track and then they hit that thing like boom, and then you ran around and then they say you did 5 seconds or whatever it is. Not like that, but this one is the secret timer where you don't even have the timer, but you know what it is. Amberlynn Reed over there, she probably ran over there to Google. She said, how long is that movie? 1 hour and 41 minutes. And then you know what she did? When the 1 hour and 41 minutes ended, boom, she would text Beck and say, yo, are you done in there? Because I need to hang out right now and I know that movie's over, something like that. But it's not even worse from there because this was the best one. I want you to think about this. Amberlynn Reed, the former baby girl, is now, I can't even say it. She is bothering Beck on the toilet. Like, Beck is over there in the toilet doing their deed, doing whatever that to get some peace and quiet in there. But that was not going to work for Amberlynn Reed. You know what she was doing over there? She would wait. She would be like, Beck is in there too long. It's like 10 minutes or something. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start yelling. I'm going to yell, yo, Beck, why you in there too long? You got to get it. Can you imagine you in there? You got that toilet paper on your hand and you got Amberlynn Reed in the living room screaming for you to get off the boat because she wants some attention. Can you imagine living like that? And Beck had to deal with this daily or whatever was going on. I don't know the patience that Beck had to deal with this. And that is the saddest part that Beck even had to. You imagine there's certain things you could do, right? Shower and go to the toilet, right? And Amberlynn Reed don't want to even let you do that. You're not allowed to. You got 5 seconds, and then she being screaming and banging on the door. You're like, are you done in there? You got to get out here. I need a massage and some lint picking, plucking and nonsense. That's what Beck was dealing with. It is impossible. I don't think in the future nobody going to deal with this. Amberlynn Reed going to have to stop. But is she going to? Nope. She going to slowly work her way into just a little, there's one little lint right on the side. Could you take that off? And then we're going to get the next person to have to do the lint picking. It's not going to end, folks. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to listen to what actually happened here. Boom.
Did Ella put times on more things than what you've already told us. How many other things did she do that with?
If I watched a movie in the living room with friends or did anything outside of the room she was in and she didn't plan on joining, she'd always ask how long the movie was or what I'd be doing and for how long. I don't know if she'd set a timer in those instances, but I would get a text right around the time I estimated asking if I was done and when I'd be coming back. She'd set a timer for lint picking, back brushing, and massages, and any activities we did together. She'd set a 10-minute timer while we watched a movie. When that timer would go off, she'd spend 15 minutes on her computer. Then she'd either go back to the movie for 10 more minutes or pick another activity and go back to the movie after. Sometimes it was reading, journaling, or choosing. If I was in the bathroom, there would be no timer, but she would text, call, or yell to tell me I'm taking too long.
Yes, folks, you heard it right there. Can you imagine dealing with this? But it's only going to get worse because the next one's going to be even more exciting. You know why? Because this is going to have to do with the hygiene. Yes, folks, Beck went on to release some information about the hygiene. Does anybody care what's going on? Because Amberlynn Reed says she shower 100 times a day in the video, and we don't care about that because I never seen nobody. I've been watching YouTube a long time. I never seen even one person talk about shower. But if you heard about some YouTubers that tell you in every video that they shower, like, good morning, I shower right now, you just put it in the comment section because I want to go over there and see, because I've never seen it's like a rare thing besides Amberlynn Reed, but that's what we're going to move on from. But Beck said in this video that Amberlynn Reed used to douse herself with like perfumes like all the time, and that the people that they lived with over there, like Eric and Ricky and everybody, I think they would complain or they didn't even say nothing, but they could understand what's going on. And even items that was around, I don't know if it was the couch or with the chairs or whatever it was, that was having a little bit problem with the hygiene over there too. But I'm not the perfect person to explain this, so let's let the one and only Beck do it. Boom.
Was Amber ever truly concerned about her health, like hygiene, mobility, etc.? Or was it all just an act? Wishing the best for you, Beck.
As for her hygiene, she really never brought up concern about it. She would douse herself in perfume sometimes to help any issues, but that's all. I won't go into detail about smells or anything too personal, but her hygiene did affect everyone around her, myself, and others' personal belongings, and she did not show concern for any of those things.
Yes, folks, you heard it right there. Even people's personal belongings was affected by Amberlynn Reed hygiene. I don't know how that happens. I don't want to know how it happens. Please, if you do know, tell me in the comment section, because I have no clue, and I will find it a little exciting to know what was going on, what personal belongings. Maybe you could make a guess. So you know what we're going to do, folks? We're going to move on to, it gets even worse. I'm not even going to say this, but it gets worse again. This is the worst this may be out of the whole bunch of situation, but I don't even know what to say. This has to do with Amberlynn Reed taking and using the inheritance of the passing of Beck's parents. Yes, you heard what I said. Amberlynn Reed took Beck's parents' passing inheritance. I think it was like $5,000 or $6,000, and that was what was left for them, right? So that they can have some comfort or whatever they wanted to do with it. But did that happen? No, our former baby girl said, no, you're not going to do that. Since that money getting deposited up in this account, I'm going to have to use it for some bills and excuses and rent and all the rest of this nonsense. I want you to think about it. Beck quit their job to take care of Amberlynn Reed, to do all the wiping, to do all the rest of the nonsense that shouldn't have been done, lint plucking and all this other nonsense that was going on. And the moment that Beck got any money of their own, right, what happened? Amberlynn Reed said, no, you're not going to get none, and spent all that money. You could see how Amberlynn Reed is, because nobody would ever expect somebody that just got an inheritance. They got nothing. They don't even have a job. Amberlynn Reed should have been like, Beck, I know you got a lot. Put it up in the bank, say, put some interest account or something like that. Make a little money for your own so you have some like money right here just in case. But did that happen? No. Boom. All the money's gone because Amberlynn Reed said so. And that's sad, right? And then on top of this, I want you to think about it. Beck used to collect coins and change and stuff like that just to have, just to have extra money around. And Amberlynn Reed believed that Beck saving all this change and coins and whatever it is was to escape and leave our former baby girl. Can you imagine that she wouldn't even let Beck save coins because she was like, I know you're gonna run away from me if you get $10,000 in pennies or nickels or dimes or whatever it is. That is, I don't even know what to say. That's one of the saddest things I've ever heard. But it it really shows how controlling our former baby girl could be. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to listen to it from the one and only again, Beck. Here we go. Boom.
Amber constantly held over my head that she was the only one with an income. During almost every argument, she would tell me how she pays all the bills and buys all the food, as if that gave her a right to control me, and as if I contributed nothing to her life. I would tell her each time that if she felt that way, I'd gladly go back to working. She'd quickly say, no, I don't want you to do that. And she didn't. She couldn't handle being apart from me for any extended period of time. She needed a caretaker, and that was already my full-time job, and a thankless one. Despite that, and doing what I could to contribute by also being in the vlogs, when she knew full well that I didn't want to be, in order to earn the home I was living in her mind, she would also be sure to take away any money I'd get from other sources. I mentioned this before, but even being seen collecting change would trigger her to question whether I was saving up to leave her. When my mother passed away, me and my siblings received a portion of a settlement from my dad's job that ended up being around $5,000 to $6,000 for each of us. I was not allowed to keep it. She told me that the money had to go into paying the bills and my half of the rent. My mom had plans for when she would have received that money before she passed away. Getting it was bittersweet, and I would have liked to use it in some way to honor her. She wouldn't have wanted Amber to have it, and it really hurt, but she took it anyway. When I told her that I would like to do something with the money, she dismissed it and treated me like I owed it to her, and it wasn't my choice. She said that I couldn't have it because the bills needed to be paid, even though I knew that she was making enough from YouTube to cover bills and rent with no problem.
Yes, folks, you heard it right there from Beck themselves, and that's what went on, and I don't even know what to say. Beck, I'm sorry you dealt with this, but think about it. You will never have to deal with this ever again with Amberlynn Reed. You is out. You're never going to have to deal with it, right? You're going to be happy with whoever you with right now, and you could live happily ever after, and this could just be all the past. So you know what we're going to do, folks? We're going to move on to the last one, and this one's, I don't even know what to say about this one. This is where Amberlynn Reed, she was making sleep schedules. I want you to think about it. Amberlynn Reed has set timers for the bathroom or whatever, just screaming and yelling till Beck get out of the bathroom. She has set timers for lint picking. She has set timers if Beck can hang with friends, watch movies, play video games, timers for everything, every single minute of the day. It doesn't matter. That's what's been going on. But this one affects Beck even worse, right? She would not let Beck sleep. You heard what I said, not let Beck sleep. Beck want to go to sleep? Nope, not going to happen. You know why? Because former baby girl said, I need to change my sleep schedule, and that's going to affect you too. Amberlynn Reed, that's not how it works. That affect you. You need to fix your own problem. But this is what went on. She would say that Beck couldn't sleep and had to stay up all night for hours and hours to the next night, like from 24 hours, and then they could go to sleep at 9 o'clock at night so that Amberlynn Reed could have a new sleep schedule. But did this happen and it worked and it was 100%, 0% the best thing ever? Absolutely not. Instead, she just wasted Beck time and didn't let Beck sleep. For the 29 or 100 hours that it was, that is out of control. But we could see what Amberlynn Reed is behind the scenes. And the more that comes out is the more that we not shocked. We just, seeing it right now in live camera and voice, right? And that's the sad part, because can you imagine what is out there that we haven't heard from other people in the past and even the people in the future? If you from the future, please tell us so that we can have the video filmed already and we can upload it before you even start dating Amberlynn Reed. But we're going to move on and listen to what Beck had to say. Listen right here. Boom.
I would spend all my time in the same room with her outside of bathroom breaks, and any time I would leave to get food or see my family. There were a lot of times where she would keep me from seeing them all together, but a lot of those times I would go anyway and just decided to deal with the consequences when I got home. Whether I was leaving with or without her permission, there would be a time limit, and while I was gone, I would receive text messages to guilt me, saying things like, I wish I wasn't home by myself. During the bad times, where I was heavily medicated and depressed, she did spend a lot of time in the dining room where she would do puzzles while I slept. She did control the schedule, though I would sleep when I wanted to, except for all the times she would wake me up in the middle of the night to take care of something for her. When she wanted to fix the sleeping schedule, she would have us stay awake for 24 hours, then crash at 9 p.m. the next day. Then she would stay up late again the next night, or a few nights later anyway, making that entire day of exhaustion for nothing.
Yes, folks, you heard it right there, and I want you to think about this. Mr. Snowflake said there might be another part 3. Can you imagine what else is about to come out? And then other people are doing it too? Can you imagine if Wifey showed up in the comments and says, I want to do one too? Can you imagine imagine Amberlynn Reed's reaction then? It would be out of control, folks. Well, that's the end of the video, folks, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Later.